The key important sports cards in our hobby, could they be underpriced currently? What do you think? Let's talk through. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. It is game day, Sunday game day. So I'm going to get this one out as early as I possibly can so we can get focused in on NFL football today. Big thanks to today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. You want to sell on eBay, but man, selling individual items on eBay with packing and shipping and listing, all the stuff that you've got to do, it's a lot of work. A lot of cards I just shoot off to DC Sports 87. They take care of it for me, and the payouts are fantastic. Make sure to check them out. All right, I was recently taking a look at a chart through Market Movers. They call it the SCI 500. It's kind of a play on words with the S&P 500. And the idea of it is it's supposed to be 500 of the most important cards in our hobby. Now, granted, there's more than 500 important cards in the hobby for sure, especially if we're looking across all eras. But the idea of this thing, whether you like the cards on it or don't, there's going to be some where you're like, why is that on there? Why is this on here? But there's plenty that we can all agree should be on there. Willie Mays rookie card, for example, or Jordan stuff or whatever it is. So there's a mixed bag of different kind of vintage, modern, ultra modern stuff. And so I kind of like to look at that to see where does it all stand? If you throw it all into a bucket, and 500 cards is a pretty decent data set. Granted, you could switch out one for another, but it's a decent data set to kind of look at and see what's going on with it. Now, if I'm looking at that chart, if I'm looking at just 2024, it looks as if that particular chart of the 500 cards is up 4.2%. And that's when I ran it from January 1st through like September 21st or something like that. So we're talking about a good chunk of 2024. Really, if we're looking at the most important key cards, they're actually up 4% from where they have been in years past. So I think that kind of begs the question, does that mean that a lot more people are consolidating up, meaning more demand on kind of those important cards? Are more people taking kind of the mid-end, the lower to mid-end stuff, or frankly, just stuff that they bought over time? They like it, they don't love it, but they've always wanted a Hank Aaron rookie card, or they've always wanted a Nolan Ryan rookie card. And they're just finally saying, you know what, screw it. Of course, I love the volume. I love all the different players, but man, I want a PSA 6 Nolan Ryan rookie card. Speaking of PSA, quickly, I forgot to add $25 off your first PSA submission. If you've never submitted cards to PSA, I've got a link and a coupon code SCD25 at the shipping and billing screen that will get $25 off your first order, one card minimum. So literally just try it out, $25 off with the link down below in the video description for PSA. So are more people doing this? Are more people consolidating into that 1-2 handful of cards that they really do like? And I really do wonder this on the vintage side, because I feel like vintage card collectors can go a myriad of different ways. Many of them are player collectors. Maybe it's Roberto Clemente, or maybe it's Mickey Mantle, but a lot of them are set collectors as well. The PSA set registry, they've got, their sets that they're collecting and building out, the 1960 top set. There's all sorts of different variety of vintage collectors. And so I wonder, are more and more vintage collectors just moving into maybe a handful of important cards that they've been trying to get? On the modern and ultra modern side, with that percentage kind of ticking up a little bit in 2024, are people doing the same sorts of things where instead of having the $100, $200, $300 Luka Doncic cards, having those maybe in volume, having 10 or 20 of those, are they selling off the 10, 20 of those and getting, a blue prism rookie? Are they getting a downtown rookie for Luka? I don't know. Like, it's just something that I always wonder when people are collecting cards, speculating in cards, investing in quotation marks in cards. What is the strategy and the thinking? Because I know we've talked about this. The whole thing is built on the lower to mid end. There are a lot of folks that just enjoy collecting players in volume. They don't necessarily even need graded cards. But anyway, that's probably an entirely different video. So are the more key important cards, are they underpriced right now? We just had the federal fund rate. It's moved down 0.5 point here recently. And that's probably going to be the way it projects for the rest of the year. It's probably going to, I think they estimated it dropping a point. So, they dropped it half a point. I think there's estimates that maybe we do another quarter. They might do nothing, but I think that the idea is that they're moving that Fed fund rate down, the economy slowing down a little bit, unemployment rising a little bit. And so I think they're trying to get ahead of that. But what does that mean? Does it have any sort of effect at all on sports cards and collectibles? Are people going to say, you know what, it's getting a little bit cheaper to borrow, it's a little bit more pro-business, business friendly, we're going to go out and we're going to spend more on alternative type stuff? But then there can be an argument made that the stuff is too expensive. Even the more important cards, is it too expensive, these cards? A lot of folks, and I can't see the future, and I don't think that there's any notion that we're going to have some sort of a soft landing with the economy. We could be in for a little rough go of it. And what does that mean for card prices? Do people say, I've got rent to pay, I got bills, I'm not buying cards, and frankly, not only am I not buying more cards, I probably need to sell off half of my collection and just kind of reprioritize. Could that happen over the next 3, 6, 12 months? Absolutely. It certainly could. We had the big kind of stimulus boom. Of course, we talk about it, the volcano mountain, and then it came down. And it's been kind of flat. If you look at the last 12 months, really across a lot of genres of cards and pricing, yes, there are certain cards breaking new records and that sort of thing. And then there's some that are down, but all in all, a lot of cards are just really flat across. But even coming flat and plateauing over the last 12 months, it's still a lot higher than it was 5 years ago for many of these important key cards in our hobby. So what do you say on this? And again, I'm not talking about the new prospects that, 99% of them are not going to work out, so their prices are automatically going to drop anyway, because that's just the way that the card market works. That's just a given. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about more important cards in our hobby. Do you think that they might be overpriced because we still have kind of the remnants of stimulus and, a lot of, look, we have more participants in this hobby right now than we have ever. Even going back to 1990, those, late 80s, early 90s, when I was a kid and that first boom, this second boom has really brought in a ton of participants, and I think more and more are coming in. I do think, yes, people are leaving, they'll get out, it's a hobby, they're in and out of it, but I think that I'm guessing here, I don't have numbers to back it up, but I think we're net positive growing. And so what does that mean? As more participants, are they going to stay in? How do the new participants impact, pricing of these important cards? Are they even buying single cards? Are the new participants breaking and razzing and repacking and they don't really even care about cards? Or are we getting new collectors? Because that's kind of an interesting thought. Fanatics talks about we want to bring in new collectors. Are you bringing in new collectors? Are you bringing in new gamblers? And are those gamblers becoming collectors? Do they have a side where they're like, hey, I know we're gambling a lot over here, but we've also got a PC of this over here. Is that happening? Or do people come in, they partake, they do the gambling stuff, and then they leave and they do other things? These are all data points that I think will probably play itself out here over the next few years, and we'll just have to see. So going back to the original question, the important cards, those key cards, do you think that many of these across all genres, whether it be vintage, modern, ultra modern, do you think they're overpriced right now? Or are they underpriced right now, and why? Let me know in the comments below. All right, friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.